There is a last-ditch effort to save the lives of 2 Australian men facing the death penalty in Indonesia. The 2 were the leaders of the Bali Nine, a group of Australian nationals arrested for drug trafficking back in 2005. As Mike Armstrong reports, the Australian government is stepping in, trying to keep the men from facing the firing squad.
This is not a place you want to visit a loved one. The families of 2 men on death row boarding a ferry to a prison facility, a place some are calling Death Island. Andrew Chen and Murian Sukumaran were moved to the island last week. It is where Indonesia carries out executions by firing squad.
Our family remains hopeful that the president will get to see how much Maya and Andrew have done inside the prison to help the Indonesian people.
The 2 men were arrested in 2005, picked up along with 7 accomplices with 8.3 kilograms of heroin. They became known as the Bali Nine. But while the other 7 members are serving long prison sentences, Chen and Sukumaran were pegged as the ringleaders and sentenced to death.
Andrew Chan and Myron Sukumaran are changed men.
Now, since the arrests, the story has changed. There is sympathy today for the 2 men. Australian media has covered their appeals, even interviewed the pair in prison, presenting them as reformed.
We all make some silly mistakes, and unfortunately for me, I've made a silly mistake that could possibly cost me my life.
I stand for mercy.
We stand for mercy.
Australians have had campaigns and vigils, even appeals in Parliament. In fact, the Australian Prime Minister has appealed directly to Indonesia's president repeatedly.
While we deplore drug crime, we deplore the death penalty as well.
Now, Indonesia says it's in the middle of a drug emergency. This was a march near the prison demanding the executions go ahead. One Indonesian politician is calling for the country to release a human tsunami on Australia, 10,000 asylum seekers if the antagonism continues. Well, Australia hasn't given up yet. The country's foreign minister has offered to swap prisoners, even offered to pay for the imprisonment of the pair if their lives are spared. Now, some are arguing Indonesia is being hypocritical. For the last 3 years, 189 Indonesian nationals in other countries have had their executions suspended at the request of the Indonesian government. Mike Armstrong, Global News.